This is KGW News at noon.
And our message today is very clear. These golfers that are getting in bed with the Saudis, they should know what they're doing, and it's shame on them. And to the golfers that say it's just a game of golf, shame on them.
He's among the families who lost loved ones on 9/11, and he came to Oregon to protest a controversial golf tournament. The Live Invitational is backed by Saudi Arabia, a country the FBI says provided support to the hijackers. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Brenda Braxton. Those 9/11 families met with the media this morning at a park near Pumpkin Ridge. Devin Haskins is live in North Plains, just outside the golf course. Devin, what all did these families say today?
Really, their message to the golfers is pretty straightforward. Understand where the money that they're getting from to play in these tournaments is coming from, what the Saudi Arabian government is accused of doing. Hours before the start of the first Live Golf tournament on U.S. soil, a dozen families impacted by the terrorist attacks of 9/11 had a message for the golfers about to tee off.
Never would I imagine that I would have to be here with 10 other 9/11 family members flying across the country to speak out against American golfers who are getting in bed with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
The Live Golf tournament, backed by the Saudi Arabian government, is a new tournament that has swayed some of the best golfers in the world to play the 54-hole tournament. Critics argue the Saudi Arabian government is funding the tournament to clean up their image and distract from decades of human rights abuse allegations and their connections to the 9/11 attackers.
It's shameful, it's disgraceful, and this should never have been allowed to happen.
Brett Eagleson lost his dad that day.
Myself, like countless other family members, never recovered even a trace of him, and we honor him by going to a fake grave site in Connecticut.
Tim Froelich was on the 80th floor that day and survived.
This event is nothing more than a group of very talented athletes who appear to have turned their backs on the crime of murder. They apparently do not care and do not understand that 3,000 family members were wiped out and killed on that day 21 years ago.
At a press briefing before the event this week, the golfers sidestepping the issues about the Saudi government's connection and its money that is funding the new tournament.
From my perspective, we're golfers. We're providing entertainment globally, and we'll continue to do so as time goes on.
Dennis McGinley lost his brother on the 89th floor of the South Tower.
We just wish that these golfers, would just stand with us, right? Put their fellow citizens, their country ahead of Saudi Arabia and money.
The group says that they're leaving today. They'll be at the next tournament later next month at Bedminster. Kickoff today for the tournament begins just after 1:15. This is the second tournament in the United States and one of four, or the second tournament of the Live Golf tournament and one of four in the United States. We'll send it back to you.
Devin, thank you. The Portland environmental nonprofit Eco Trust is apologizing for doing business with Live Golf. It owns an event space in Southeast Portland called The Red, and it rented it to the Saudis for a party before the tournament. Eco Trust has apologized for hosting that event and says it's going to change its vetting and booking policies in the future. Well, there could be a major shakeup in the Pac12. Multiple outlets are reporting that USC and UCLA are planning to leave the Pac-12 for the Big Ten Conference. John Wilner from the Mercury News broke this story. The move could happen as early as 2024. Nothing's final yet, and this likely won't be the last domino to fall. Just a year ago, Texas and Oklahoma decided to leave the Big 12 for the SEC. So what's the reason for all these moves? Well, it comes down to money and the power of college football. The SEC and Big Ten are the two dominant conferences and have the most lucrative television deals. We are working to get more details about this and reaction from Oregon and Oregon State. We'll update you on air and online as soon as we hear back. Well, it is a big news day, as you can see, but all is quiet in the weather department. Rod's here with the forecast that's clear and sunny today.
Another nice day. You know what? The temperatures continue to be comfortable since we ended the heat wave back on Monday. There was a marine push of clouds that we've had during the morning hours today at the coast and also over into the valley. When you get above that, it's just been beautifully clear over Timberline. It's been a beautiful sunny to mostly sunny day already out in the gorge. This is the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles, and also central and eastern Oregon. And I think eventually this will just be a clear blue sky day here in the Rose City. We get up to about 81 for high and still in the 70s at 8 p.m. Enjoy.
Now, on behalf of all of the members of the court, I am pleased to welcome Justice Jackson to the court and to our common calling.
The U.S. Supreme Court making history today. Ketanji Brown Jackson is now an Associate Justice. She's the first black woman to serve on the nation's highest court. Here's a video from her swearing-in ceremony earlier today. And another first with this new addition, there will be 4 women on the Supreme Court for the next term. Justice Jackson will take Stephen Breyer's place. He retired after serving on the court for 28 years. Breyer was one of 3 liberal justices on the High Court. Back here in Portland, a sanctioned homeless camp in Multnomah Village could be in jeopardy. We're talking about the one at the former Sears Armory, where dozens of pods are set up there in the parking lot. FEMA says that's not how the property should be used, and the city is violating the deed restrictions it agreed to. It's not exactly clear what's going to happen next, but the city says it's now working with the feds to resolve the matter while still providing housing. This fall, Portland residents will vote on a plan to overhaul city government. Many people, including the mayor, believe this is desperately needed. In a meeting last night, City Council had questions for the group that came up with the redesigned plan. Alma McCarty has the update.
Portland's Charter Commission, an independent group of 20 people, wrapped up 18 months of work voting 2 weeks ago to send a proposal to voters that would fundamentally change the city's style of government.
Many of Portlanders think the city is on the wrong track and that big changes, including structure of city government, are needed to ensure our government is more accountable, more transparent, and more efficient and effective, more responsive and representative of every area of our city.
Under this proposal, there are several changes. Among them, ranked choice voting, an expanded 12-member city council with 4 multi-member districts, and changed roles for both the city council and the mayor.
It really was a long process of lots of changing and making sure that what we were proposing was responding to what community was asking for.
Members of the public voiced support and some opposition during a city council meeting Wednesday.
This proposal works as a whole to create a more responsive, accountable, and representative city government.
The Charter Commission is proposing that we go from a government that no one is using to a government that has never been used.
There's no reason why voters shouldn't have the option to vote yes on the government reforms and no on an oversized, untested, bad idea multi-member district.
This is an important measure because it has all of these working together moving forward. To take any of them out is to undermine our movement towards better governance, better representation, more diverse representation.
As you heard there, one major point of contention from some citizens and city commissioners is the size of the ballot measure that includes all the changes rather than separating them for voters.
I take a look at like the city manager thing, the multi-member district thing, the ranked choice thing, the expanding the size of council thing. Those strike me as being really fundamentally different.
Members of the Charter Commission defended their work.
There's absolute policy reason that we're proposing them all together because they hang together and they don't exist effectively toward the goals that we set out when we first started separately.
There is no plug and play model, that there is no one way to get to that shining beacon of a city.
That was Alma McCarty reporting. Here's the other thing to remember. That meeting with the mayor and city council was just a formality. The measure as it stands will be on the ballot in November. If voters approve, Portland's form of government will change in January of 2025. City Council also passed an emergency ordinance that allows the Portland Police Bureau to use $500,000 on hiring bonuses. There are currently more than 100 vacancies. Bonuses could range from $5,000 to $25,000 depending on the position. Well, minimum wage workers in Oregon are about to get a raise. Starting tomorrow, wages go up by 50 to 75 cents. In the Portland metro area, wages will increase from $14 to $14.75 an hour. Outside the metro, we're talking $13.50. For most of rural Oregon, wages will increase to $12.50 an hour. Lawmakers approved a series of increases back in 2016. And once again next year, wages will be adjusted for inflation. Inflation is having a big impact on a Vancouver food pantry. It needs help feeding a new wave of people seeking assistance. The pantry is called FISH, which stands for Friends in Service to Humanity. The organization relies mostly on community donations, and its executive director says the money coming in slows down in the summer. At the same time, rising food prices have more people asking for help.
Back in February, we were doing about 1,200 families, and every month since we've been adding a couple hundred families. We're up to 1,892 families in May. We haven't completed June yet.
The food pantry is open from 10 to 2 Monday through Friday and once a month on Saturdays. It accepts cash and food donations. For more information on how you can help, check out our story on KGW.com.